Hi, Michelle here, the Neurodivergent Psychic. I just started working on something new, which is really exciting because it's in cooperation with my spirit guides. And I joined the Spiritualist National Union International, I'm not sure, Spiritualist, whatever, snui.org.uk or something. But I after I'd been to Arthur Findlay College, I wanted to kind of dive deeper into all that is out there. And when you sign up for SNUI, you can get access to a lot that's happening. Like there's something every day, and sometimes more things in a day. It can be like services, it can be sessions, it can be anything related to working with your spirit guides or your mediumship. And so I signed up. The first thing I participated in was Friday. Today's Monday, so it's only a few days ago. And it was inspired writing. And I hadn't done that before. I mean, I have been communicating with my guides, but to get guidance for me, like I would ask questions and then I would start writing and ask more questions and start writing. But the whole inspired writing thing was new. So it was pretty cool. So we had a short meditation to connect to our guides and ask for inspiration and for them to help. And then the tutor or teacher Iris said, ask your guides for a title. And I got benevolence, and I wasn't even sure what that meant, benevolence. I knew it was something about being a good person and giving in charity or something, but not exactly. And that is, I love that my guides do that because they know I'm a critic. Like I'm always skeptical about not everything, but a lot of what comes, and that's why they keep sending me stuff that I know I would not have made up because I wasn't even sure of the meaning of this title. So after the title, that we then got 20 minutes to just work non-stop, just writing, whatever came. And it was an amazing process. I just opened up and so a tip for you, if you want to really evolve, if you want to develop your abilities, you have to play with it. Be playful. I do that. I'm so curious. I'm so excited every time. It's like, what's going to come? So I was just, okay, benevolence. And I started, and I was writing by hand the first time here. And then I wonder what it is. So they're going to tell me, or I'm going to find out when I'm writing. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And sometimes I felt like, okay, so I think I got this wrong. And then I just had to feel, oh, okay, so I'm tapped in again. And then I got it. And when the 20 minutes was gone, it was boop, I could set the final period and everything was over. And it was a really good poem about being of service. I don't know if you would call it a poem, but it was about being of service and how it's not a job, it's not a task, it's a way of living. It's how you contribute, but mostly it's how it's kind of a gift to you, how you can find joy and pleasure in your life by being of service, how you can kind of be in the flow and get all that comes with knowing that you're following your purpose, but mostly the connection. I'm going to publish all my texts because afterwards my guide showed me that, because I've wanted to be a writer for years and I've started so many books, but I'm not good at working on my own because neurodivergence, you know. I don't know how many books I've started. I have some of them on one computer and some in a cloud, but this one is different because I'm kind of just channeling. So what my guides have been communicating to me is that they will give me 100 texts like this. I have 6 now because I started. So I made a plan every morning. I am going to meditate briefly and then I just start writing with them. And it's like 2 texts every day in the beginning. But they told me if I want to, I can do it in 30 days. 100 texts in 30 days. But I also have to, so I'm just going to get everything out from them, and then afterwards I'm going to go in and kind of put in my reflections as how I understand this, because even if it came from them, they still came through my filter. So they may have made me feel a certain way that I understand to be one thing, but the way I describe it might be understood in another way for you. And that's why I think it's important that I write what I perceived, like the emotions in it, and what I felt and how I want people to read it. So now they're saying, yes, but sometimes people need to read it in their own way because they're meant to do that. Fine. But I really think it's cool that I've worked so hard on getting that communication great, and I can just sit by my computer and I just write a whole hour. No, actually it takes between 20 to 30 minutes to write one text. And then I just say thank you. I open a new document because I'm doing it on my computer now because I want to publish it at one point. I'm also going to make small videos about it. So I guess this is going to be the introduction video. So I'm going to make a podcast list that is simply these texts from my collective of spirit guides. I've also been given the title for the book. It's going to be about messages from the collective to guide you on your spiritual journey or something. But a lot of them are, I can see already now with the 6 texts that there's going to be the topic of how you develop, but also how you find yourself, how you find comfort in knowing that you have these abilities, and how, yes, you're special, but you don't have to be or act special all the time because you're also human. And there's going to be a lot to help people understand what the purpose is of being born here with access to these abilities, and also why it's hard. That's actually really cool because today I got a text about that it can be really tough because it was actually called evidence, and that's something I've been looking for all the time. Evidence. So it was partly for me, this one. So that, so you want the evidence, you want us to give you all the answers, you want us to make it hard, but how will you evolve? How will you learn? How will you develop if everything is given to you? So that was actually pretty cool because it's I want to know. I want to see what's behind I want to know what I can learn at Hogwarts. All of that, I wouldn't have that need to know more, to be more, to be able to do more if it was just given to me. It would be, cool, excellent. Yeah, so I could clean the dishes because that's an ability I have, but why would I? It's more the developing skills is pretty awesome if you don't know everything. Once especially as neurodivergent, once I have all the facts and I know everything, I'm moving on. So, and that's also what I love about my abilities here, how they keep growing, because, okay, so I could communicate. Now I can write with them. I can write for them. And the funny thing is that I actually find myself disagreeing sometimes with what I'm writing from them. But then it kind of adds up, and in the end I get, okay, that's what they meant. So it's so cool. So if you haven't tried it, you should maybe try just to sit down, ask your guides. I don't know if you feel like you have one or more, but it's a really fun exercise. So I'm going to be sharing all the texts, and I hope you'll enjoy them and that they can give you some insights, or at least some thought for reflection. But I'd love to hear if you've done any of this, and if it has, I don't know, helped you develop other skills, or in some other way felt that you were on the right path. So I'm looking forward to this. It feels like the start of an amazing adventure, and it's like, I'm going to write a book with spirits. So thank you for listening, and I will be back soon with all my texts, and take care. Love you. Bye bye.